My dad tried to humiliate me in front of our entire family, grounded me like I was still a kid, right there at dinner. He didn't know his own lawyer was about to walk in and change everything. There were about 30 people in the room. Family packed into the house for one of those loud, crowded gatherings where everyone talks over each other. Birthdays, anniversaries, it didn't matter. It was always the same. Noise, laughter, judgment, and somehow I always ended up in the middle of it. I should have known that night wouldn't be different. It started small. A comment ir? A look there. The usual. So what are you doing these days? One of my uncles asked casually. Before I could answer, my dad jumped in. He's figuring it out, he said, smiling. That smile. The one that looked friendly, but wasn't. A few people chuckled. I kept my expression neutral. I'm working, I said. Working, he repeated, like it was a placeholder for something unimpressive. What kind of work? Consulting, I replied. He raised an eyebrow. Consulting, he echoed. On what? Business operations, I said. That got a reaction. Not impressed. Amused. Since when are you a businessman? He asked. A few more laughs. I didn't respond, because I knew where this was going. It always went the same way. He leaned back in his chair, louder now. This is what happens when you don't listen, he said to the room. They think they know everything. There it was, the shift, from conversation to performance. I told him to follow a stable path, he continued. But no, he wanted to do things his way. My mom stayed quiet, like always. My relatives watched, some entertained, some uncomfortable, no one stopping it. And now, he added, looking at me, now he's consulting. The way he said it made it sound like a joke. I felt the familiar tension in my chest. Not new, not surprising, just repetitive. I'm doing fine, I said calmly. He laughed. Fine. Then, louder. You're living under my roof, and you think you're fine? That caught a few more people's attention. The room shifted slightly, because now it wasn't just teasing. It was public, deliberate. I'm contributing, I replied. Contributing, he repeated, then shook his head. This is exactly the problem. He looked around the room again. At his age, I had a career, he said, a house, responsibilities. Then back at me, and you, silence. He didn't wait for an answer. You know what? He said suddenly, if you're going to act like a child. He paused just long enough for everyone to be listening. Then I'll treat you like one. I felt it before he said it, the shift from embarrassment to control. You're grounded, he said. Laughter broke out. Not from everyone, but enough. Enough to make it land. Until you figure out what you're doing with your life. He added, like it was a joke, like it was entertainment. I didn't react, didn't argue, because reacting would have given him exactly what he wanted. Attention, control. Instead, I just looked at him, calm, steady, and, for a second, something in his expression changed, just slightly, like he expected resistance, or embarrassment, or something. But I didn't give him any of it, because the truth was, I wasn't in the position he thought I was, not anymore. And just as the laughter started to settle, there was a knock at the door. Sharp, unexpected. No one moved at first. Then my dad frowned, slightly. Who's that? Someone asked. I'll get it, my mom said, standing up. A few seconds later, she came back. Not alone. A man in a suit stepped in behind her, calm, professional, holding a folder. My dad's expression shifted immediately. Confusion, recognition. What are you doing here? He asked. The man looked at him, then at me, and said something no one in that room was ready for. I'm here to speak with your son, he said, and just like that, the entire room went silent. The room didn't just go quiet. It froze. Every conversation stopped mid-breath, because no one expected that. Not the timing, not the tone, and definitely not who the lawyer was looking at. Me. My dad stood up slowly, confusion turning into irritation. "What do you mean you're here for him?" he asked. The lawyer remained calm, professional, like this wasn't unusual. "May I come in?" he said. My mom nodded quickly, stepping aside. He walked in fully now, placing the folder on the table, right in front of me. Not my dad. Me. That alone shifted something in the room. Because suddenly, this wasn't my dad's stage anymore. "This isn't a good time," my dad said, his voice tighter now. "It won't take long," the lawyer replied. Then he turned to me. "Everything is finalized," he said. Simple. Direct. No build-up. No explanation. Just that. I nodded once. "Thank you," I said. My dad looked between us, clearly trying to piece things together. "Finalized," he repeated. "What's finalized?" The lawyer didn't answer him. Instead, he opened the folder and slid a set of documents toward me. "Transfer of ownership," he said, "and confirmation of control." A few people leaned forward, trying to read, trying to understand. My dad stepped closer. "Control of what?" he demanded. I didn't rush, didn't react to the pressure in his voice. I simply glanced at the papers, then back at the lawyer. "All of it?" I asked. "All of it," he confirmed. That's when my dad lost patience. "Someone explain what's going on," he snapped. The lawyer finally turned to him. Calm, measured. "Your son is now the majority owner," he said. The word hung in the air. Owner? Of what? That question spread across every face in the room. My dad laughed once. Short, sharp. "Owner of what exactly?" he asked. The lawyer didn't hesitate. "The company you've been negotiating with for the past 6 months. Silence. Not confusion anymore. Shock. Because now it connected. My dad's expression changed instantly. From control to disbelief. "That's not possible," he said, but it didn't sound strong. It sounded uncertain. The lawyer continued. "The final agreement was signed this afternoon," he said. "Your son holds controlling interest effective immediately." My dad looked at me, really looked this time. Not like I was a problem, not like I was a joke, but like he was seeing something he didn't recognize. He said quietly. I didn't say anything right away, because I didn't need to. Everything that mattered was already sitting on the table. Every assumption he made, every word he said, every time he reduced me to nothing, was now standing in front of him, contradicted, completely. "You've been behind this?" he asked. I met his eyes. Yes. The room stayed silent. No laughter, no comments, no judgment, just realization. Because in a single moment, everything he thought he knew about me collapsed. And for the first time in that house, he wasn't the one in control anymore. My dad stared at the papers, then at me. "You knew?" he asked. "Yes." Silence. Heavy. Unavoidable. The same room that laughed minutes ago said nothing now. I stood up slowly. "No need to ground me," I said calmly. "I don't live here anymore." That landed hard. I picked up the documents, paused, then added, "Next time, know who you're talking about," and walked away, leaving him exactly where he left me, in front of everyone, without control.